This is Monica from Cocojor channel. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Well, all this week in my life, I talked about many different kind of emotion. And emotions are the most key point for a very healthy mental state as well as physical state. And so when we don't really follow up on our emotion, because our emotion is really the cry out for many different outlets, whether we are sad or whether we are happy, frustrated, angry, and so on. And so this becomes into a stress level into our self that affects our inner organs, such as our heart, our liver, our kidney, and the list goes on. And so why I focus on all of this is because I'm going through it literally in this month of February. And February is really, like I said, like the peak, the start of the year. And for some people is because January is more of a time for the cleanup and getting ready for it, yes, we're going to do our challenge. Yes, we're going to start doing all different kind of things. And so we kind of get that thing going in January. And so like what I did a 31-day challenge of doing yoga every single day in January, because I know that February is going to bring in different kind of challenges that really concern about love. And when love comes into the play, it automatically triggers the emotion, because love is a very emotional feeling that we all go through. And so we talk about that in one subject in my life about emotion and how to really honor it and not just put a bandage over it, because it's just not going to really satisfy the whole entire journey of going forward. And next we talked about things of how people sometimes just be maliciously mean to you for no reason at all, and we all go through that. Is because they will talk behind your back, or you hear certain kind of gossip, or they'll do certain kind of things. Maybe because, number one, they could be jealous of you. Number two, they wish they could do what you're doing. And number three, they want to take away that light from you. And so, it just could be something so silly, and we see it every single day, whether you are a celebrity, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a gardener. I mean, some of these gardeners, or some people who collects butterfly, or you could just be at your 9-to-5 job, or you could just be doing some kind of athletical sport or anything. It comes in many different forms, whether it's your family, your friends, your co-worker, or whoever. And so it's an everyday thing, and we all go through it, but nobody really come up with how to really cope with it, or even identifying it. There is a lot of talks about it, but the thing is that how all of this triggers to a certain point is going back to find the remedy, to find a solution to this problem. And the problem it really starts is because sometimes when we feel that we need to overachieve ourselves to do certain things, and we feel that we can't get there because we're so overpowered by these people called gaslighters. What is a gaslighter? Well, the thing is, it's called gaslighting. And it usually comes from people that are very narcissistic people. They usually come from people that sometimes may have some kind of a jealousy with you. And sometimes it may be from people that have this over controlling freakness power over you they want. And the thing all comes down to this thing where we call love. You know, right now we see so many things that's happening right now in the world. And it's going to get, like I mentioned before, more powerful on this thing where we have to really truly identify love. And February, it was really a time and theme that we focus on is love, because love can turn into many different powerful things where they love that person so much they end up hurting another person, committing a crime, like I just mentioned, somebody killing somebody else's life because they were having an affair with the wife or the husband, or they don't want to go through a divorce, so they maliciously attack one another. And so this is how gaslighting really starts. And if we don't know how to turn down the flame or even call them out on what they do, because people don't know what gaslighting is about, you know, and I do it sometimes, and I do it with the passion of really holding my anchor down. Because especially people who are highly sensitive people who are empath, or people who doesn't even know what they have as a gift within themselves because they're very much, you know, shy about it. And the thing is that these kind of energy goes after people who has a kind heart, because at the end of the day, we always give in. And we always give in because we're just really nice people. I mean, this world needs a lot of more nice people, and there is a lot. But what happens is, because there's so much sometimes bad energy that destroys somebody who has a good heart. And they will say maliciously things like, well, the reason why you don't have any friends is because everybody hates you. Or they would come up with things like, you know what, you're such an effing failure. Or they will say things that, you know what, you'll never be successful because XYZ. And all of these really hurtful words is because they feel that slowly, once you call them out, they're going to be losing the battle of control. And so, you know, certain things that we can all identify and we can control is really taking note to yourself and say, listen, I'm not going to take any more crap from this because this is what happened today. By journaling in and what you just experienced will help you not give in to it again. And write down the words that they hurt you with. You know? Do these as a reminder to yourself, because number one, you are not a failure. Why? It's because you just took away that plug out from them. Number two, they can't stop using you for certain things that they wanted you to do, because they will find every single excuse in the world while they're trying to pump you up to do it. Like, oh my God, it's only you can do it. Oh, you are the most fastest person who can understand and do it really quickly. Didn't we hear that while we're at work or while we're doing certain things, while the other person is just laying back and just doing their own stuff and relaxing? Sounds familiar? Well, it should be. Because we all go through that, you know, even when we have a newborn and mama's taking care of it around the clock, and, you know, on the sideline, you will hear all these echoes of pressure, echoes of people who really don't understand the true life or even reach out and say, are you okay? How can I help you? So there's a lot of things that, how all of these stems out. But we all need to practice and how we can really stop all of this gaslighting to keep on lining up. Because it all starts because they know that you are weak. They know, meaning that you will give in to whatever they may say, or you may have self-doubt that maybe I am a failure, maybe I should be doing this. Listen, and that's why when I say, once you learn somebody's behavior problem, the best way to look at it in a different ends is when you go into your emotional breakdown. Say everything that you are holding back and explode. And keep on exploding, because this is part of natural detoxing. Can you imagine what you're doing to your inside of your body? They're smiling. They're telling you, go, let it out, let it go. And doing that process, because we have gone probably in bad relationship. We've all gone through bad relationship. I have gone through many different bad relationship, whether I was married, whether I was going out with somebody, whether I was dealing with somebody through work or my personal friends or family. We all go through that. And so when that happens, we have to really start to wake up and don't hold it back. Uncork that emotion, and it's okay. Give yourself that permission to let go and release. Really, truly release it out. Because why? You're going to leave so much power in you to breathe better quality of life. Because your emotions are really the one that triggers your stress, your anxiety, all these pains and all these suffering within yourself, because you just felt going back to your value and your worth. And so that's why it's so important to do this exercise each month to evaluate, right? Just like how we look at, hopefully we all do this, we all look at our financial situation, our bank statement, our spending system of how we're using that energy, that value, that worth of commodity in each and every day of our life. Are we spending it on too much Starbucks? Do we need it? Are we spending it on too much going out to eat? Are we spending it on too much binging of shopping or drinking too much alcohol? So that's when we have to go down the list, this checklist, which we usually is been done during these two periods, because it's the cycle of life, right? And everybody who has gone through the period of having your menstrual, right? The beginning of the month, where we feel that, okay, we just finished having our period, we released it all out, we got all that, I don't want to sound graphic, but that blood out, which is all of this that's stuck in our body. And we come up with, we feel refreshed, we feel clean, we feel better, we feel re-energized. And that's when we, like we said, especially coming up for the month of March, because let me tell you, the month of March energy is going to be explosive. And I'm going to be doing a segment on the new moon on that. But today I'm really focusing about gaslighting and how it starts and how we can prevent that fire going up. And really, if we take control of who we are, and what we have inside, a lot of this function of our well-being is going to be really strong and really mighty for your power to conquer forward. You know, because yes, we are really emotional beings, and we are also creatures of bad habits. And just really not identifying this gaslighting that's flaming us up all around us, that's sucking our energy and making us feel not worthy. We have no value. We're worthless. We are a piece of shit. And we are just no good. And that's not the way to live life, honestly. And if they pretend like they are the superior one who is helping you because I am your sensei, or I am your boss, I am your husband, I am your wife, I am this, I am that. But where really comes down to, where are you? And so I'm going to be listing down a whole bunch of information about this. And I think this is really a good subject to really make it into a webinar, because that way we can go and identify with a collective energy of people who may have gone through this, or who is really going through this, or how we can protect ourselves for future things of gaslighting to happen. And so these are just certain tips I'm giving, because I go through it, and I'm sure a lot of you guys go through it. But I found these tools to really, how to really concentrate, meditate, and really make us balance. Balancing is really the key to really good quality of life, because you can't have too much of a goodness without experiencing the badness, because you'll never understand how good you have it when you undo the badness. And so those are things that we always need to really keep ourselves centered and understand that when we feel this way, or when we feel that somebody's triggering that gaslight fire under you and start to attack you, and then your emotion builds up, and then next thing you know, when your emotion is built up and when you're at your weakest point, the malicious attack will start happening, where you just feel powerless, and that you feel that, oh my God, I can't do anything but just to listen. That was kind of what really kind of happened to us in the last 2 years, right? But then a lot of us, you know, wants control back, and look at what's happening right now. There's an overflow of different kind of people, because they seize the opportunity. They seize the opportunity when it's the lowest point of time. And that's how war happens. That's how really abuse happens. That's when the takeover is there to really get and suck the energy. And you can see my other video about energy vampires. And so they all come in hand, because a lot of my Cocojor tips are really about the good, the bad, and some of these evil things that people do to us, because a lot of times they don't really teach us. And most of all, they don't teach that in school about humanity. They don't teach you about discrimination. They don't teach you about it's okay to love anything, anybody. They don't teach you about compassion. They do teach you a lot about how to divide, right? And conquer. that's what they do. And so a lot of these things, like I'm saying, is going to start to change the system, because we are really in this huge evolution era that we're experiencing right now. And you know, some people say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, or some people may say, oh, this is not happening, or some people may say some kind of religious stuff, but it's happening. The universe is really erupting. And this is why I'm bringing up this subject about how to take charge, how to identify your own power, how to identify your own control system. Because you're going to be getting a lot of attack from left to right, and how people will come into your life and try to gaslight it, whether they are a narcissistic person, whether they are a control freak, whether they are a jealous freak, whether they are just somebody who's so miserable. As you hear before, misery loves company, and they want to bring you into that company, where you instead can find a bigger, better, happier, blissful, peaceful life if you just take back that control, use all these wonderful tools that surround us, and just manifest that great protection to be really grounded, to be really in peace, and most of all, enjoy the blissfulness of life. So you take care, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out our live YouTube, where it has so many different kind of aha moments of tip, where I just go on my Cocojor chit chat corner live, just so I can give you some tips like this, because it's really important that we care for our well-being. And there is so many different kinds of information out there. Really, go out and grasp them. Get information, read good books. Don't get so caught up in social media. Don't get so caught up on the mass media. Don't get so caught up in all these things. What you really need to do is be very collective and collect all that energy of who you are, what you are, and what kind of journey and future you want to do for yourself. And once you find that love will also start bringing you people alike, good friends, good family energy, good kind of love and relationship to you. So you stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as my social media, and lots of courses, free webinar, and most of all, aloha from Cocojor.